Alright guys, I'm here at Brutal, about to meet up with Brad. Super excited to try their upside down beer. They have a bunch of new beers here I want to try, so let's just jump into it, hang out, and grab some beers. Welcome to another week of Drunken Public. I'm your host, Victor Santana, and on this episode, which looks like a different venue because it is, I'm at my house. Me and Brad were having a great conversation, and we didn't even think about stopping and doing an intro, and we just jumped into it. And then Eric and Jason had the opportunity to sit down after a busy Friday to come sit down and hang out with us too. So we just kept talking without ever doing the intro. So with that being said, this is the intro for another week of Drunken Public, episode 61. Brad's Instagram is just be more. Follow him on Instagram, phenomenal page, phenomenal guy, and I hope you guys enjoy us hanging out and talking. And also for Brutal, follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and at their own website. Please check them out. If you haven't checked them out already, you have to. Some of the best beers in Texas. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy. Peace.
Yeah, that's how it all started. Just drinking, meeting people, and I thought every brewer who came on, the first four brewers, every brewer who came on has been cool, but like the first four brewers who came on were all fucking really nice. They invited out to their brewery, and that we hung out with them at the brewery, and like again, no one really knew us and at the time, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, drinks on us. Just come hang out. It's gonna be fun." And I'm like, "Yo, I like this shit."
That's one thing I think is really cool about craft is just, and I say it like that, but like the first breweries that I went to when I first started getting into craft beer, you know, like. Let me back up. Like when I first started getting into craft beer, I went to like World of Beer maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I rolled in, not really knowing what it was about. Some people from work were going up there, and we rolled in, and I saw they had all these different beers, and I was just like, screw it. Anytime I went in, I was like, let me just try whatever I haven't had.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of like how I started getting into it. You know, they had like a little membership card, and you could track all your beers. And I racked up like about 300 beers over there before they went. You know.
Yeah. What happened to them?
I don't know. The last I heard was like I kind of just stopped going to World of Beer because I was like hitting up Martin House or going to Turning Point or doing anything like that, and then like I showed up one day and they're rebranded. They weren't World of Beer, they were Beer and Brats. So they had apparently sold, and I don't know if the whole thing caved, but like most of their locations sold and then just changed.
Yeah, because the one at Arlington, at the time I was living down there, when they opened up, we checked it out. I'm like, but I wasn't like, there were some dope beers, I guess, you know, but I didn't really drink much. But they were always packed. I don't know what happened.
Well, you know, they used to do cool stuff. Like, that was probably my first experience of seeing, like, where they would do, like, Pub Guys trivia on Wednesday night.
Yeah, they did a Harry Potter one. That's how I ended up going there.
Yeah, and so, I knew every Wednesday night, if I didn't have anything going on after work, head up to World of Beer and put a team together, play trivia, drink beer, whatever, till 10 o'clock and go home.
Yeah, that's not a bad night, too, because 10 o'clock, you go home, still got time to sleep.
But then, like, as I started getting more into craft beer, it was, like, kind of expanding into, like, well, what are these other breweries? So, like, I met a lot of local guys at breweries. You know, like, I met, I don't know if you know, like, Ryan Hayder.
Yeah.
Like, I met him at what's the place down off of, down by Union Gospel?
Union Gospel. Where the fuck is Union Gospel at?
Wildacre.
Oh, you talking about Fort Worth?
I met him at Wildacre, just like on a Thursday night.
Damn, Wildacre's been open 4 years?
This was maybe like 2 years ago.
Okay.
I just happened in on the way home from work, and I went in and tried a beer, and he was chilling. You know, he was drinking a beer, and he was like, "Hey man, you like craft beer?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we just got to talking, exchanged phone numbers, and this was even before the groups. And you know, he had a share that they would do like once a month out on the south side of Fort Worth, and he let me know, "Hey, we're having a share if you want to come out." And sometimes I can make it, sometimes not.
Yeah. That's another thing I fell in love with, like meeting people like that randomly. That's how I met Jerry, how I met Sean and Dom, just randomly at different places.
Well, and so like I met, so the way I got into the groups, and this is kind of interesting, like I started going to like Martin House, and I've been out to RAR a few times, and you know, was just trying a lot of the more local, you know, breweries, and then with the resurgence of all these tap rooms that open, you know, Lone Star and all these What's on Tap and Cool Keg and all those places.
All the badass places to get beer.
Like, I met Zach after a chapter meeting. You know, Zach used to run the tap room at Cool Keg.
Is he the one that works for Full Clip?
I don't think so. I don't know.
But it doesn't matter.
But he used to work for Cool Keg, and I went into we had a chapter meeting in Dallas. And we went to Cool Keg afterwards to search out some beer, and we just got to talking about prairie stuff.
Yeah.
And I started talking about Pirate Bomb, and he was like, "I got one in the back. I'll sell to you." And I was like, "No shit." And he didn't know me from Adam, and he was like, we just started talking about beer, and so I started going in there hanging out with him. And it got to the point even before I was in the groups where I'd go hang out with him on my lunch. And I would just show up to see what bottles he put out, and he would pour us a beer, and we'd chug a beer, and I'd go back to work. Like, no big deal.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing, you know, it's like you develop those relationships with complete strangers, and beer always tends to be like bridge the gap,
yeah.
you know? There's always a great divide when it comes to, you know, like, you don't know anybody where you're going, you know, you're somebody to hang out with, but if you go long enough, people see you, hey, I recognize you from somewhere. And then the next thing you know, you're drinking beer with people that you didn't know 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then 2 months later, 3 months later, you're all hanging out having a bottle share on a Friday night. So I met Abby on Instagram because she traded with my buddy.
See, that's funny because if you would ask me, you guys known each other for years because the way everybody hangs out at each other's houses.
So she traded with my buddy Garrett, and he was always a craft beer guy that traded, and he's from Houston, and so they would trade craft beer. And I had gone up to Turning Point a few times, and I happened in on like a Friday night, and she was like, "Hey, are you Just Be More?" And I was like, I ain't nobody. Like, why?
Yeah.
What do you? Yeah. I was like, yeah, why? And she was like, oh my gosh, you know. And she told me her handle, and I was like, you know. She goes, you know Garrett. And I was like, you're French. You're the one he's been trading with, which is why he hadn't been trading with me. And she was like, yeah. And so we talked, and I met Kyle, and they were having a duck group hangout. And this is like before the dog group. This was when there was just the duck group.
Yeah.
And so we hung out, and me, not knowing me from anybody, they shared some beers with me. You know, Kyle was like, hey man, I'll give you one of these, if, you know, so you can try it. And I was just kind of just blown away by like that kind of friendship.
How nice everybody is.
People, you know what I mean? And so Abby gave me a duck sticker, you know, and she was like, take some pictures when you're taking pictures of your beer and use the sticker. And I was like, cool. And so I took it with me and, you know, took some pictures and was dropping them on Instagram, and didn't really thought anything of it. And then they let me know they were going to hang out on a Friday night, and I went up there, and that's kind of when I met Ray and Sydney, and they were all like a big group, right? And so I did my first chug. The night I met Sydney and Ray, I did my first chug for the duck page, and you know, they invited me into the group and everything, and obviously there's been a lot of stuff that went on since then, because you know, like the emergence of the dog group, and then kind of those separate, you know, craft beer groups. But you know, it's so craft should always be, in my opinion, the great connector. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It brings. I've seen it bring so many people together, and the people that have split, it hasn't been because of the beer. It's been because of personal differences or whatever. Like, that's fine. Like, there's gonna be people in your life that you don't like.
Or people you liked and then you guys haven't fallen out. It fucking happens, bro. It fucking happens.
But beer should always be the great connector. And so it's interesting to me to see how people use it as commodity. It's currency. You know, I mean, they scoop up limited release bottles when they go on sale, and then they're upselling literally in the parking lot or 2 days later online, you know, and then, you know, it's like, I get it, like, that's the supply and demand. But for me, I hold on to them because I want to trade them to my buddies that are in Portland that I trade with, or New Hampshire that I trade with, and trade for the Great Notion, and for the Trillium bottles, or trade for the, you know, the hard to find J-Weight stuff.
They share the wealth of like, yo, I like these beers on this side of town.
Like, and don't get me wrong, you can trade fair for fair. You know, I mean, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with trading fair for fair. They're your bottles to do with whatever you want to with them, but when you buy them and then you're just immediately selling them, you know, in my opinion, it just kind of reflects a little bit negatively on you know, your loyalty to the brew. And I know that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
I know.
I mean, I'm allowed to have that opinion. You know what I mean?
But after the day, it's not. See, that's the thing for me. It's like those people don't love craft beer for the community. They love it for something they can do for them.
Well, and here's the crazy thing. So we were just talking earlier about sours, and
Yeah.
I think the sours that Brutal does are going to be their namesake, and not because their other beers aren't good. They make a lot of really good beers.
I think all the beers on the table we have right now are fucking solid.
Like they have one called oh man, it's like a sin mint stout. I
Yeah.
don't remember what it's called. But
It blew real fast.
It's a mint stout, and I had a crowler that we just cracked the other weekend, and that one was super good. But I mean, like, I think their sours are going to kind of be their namesake, or maybe their claim to fame per se. Because for me, those are the ones that I'm most excited about seeing canned, because I want to take those and I want to drink them, and I want to trade them away. I want to trade them to my buddies that that I trade the Burley Oaks and that I get the Great Notions from, because I think that stuff stands out. You know what I mean?
No, I think so too. Like, I see. Funny thing about it, the whole beer thing. For me, I love the community so much that when people give me beers I don't like, oh, you're gonna chug it? Damn, that was a pretty big one. I'll do this one.
Oh no, I'm just finishing. Look at you chugging. I remember like, what was it? Maybe like 6 months ago, you wouldn't even put down a whole beer.
No,
Now you're getting it.
I've been hanging out with the big boys. That still hurts though.
Dude, I did one the other day. So one of the beers that always kills me is the sours that Turning Point does. So like peach scone is super easy to drink.
Yeah.
But it's always super cold. Cranberry scone that they did last year around the holidays
I never had that one.
was the coldest beer I've ever had. And like on record, there's plenty of videos in the Duck group where like I'd be up there late on a Friday and Josh would happen in and we would drink cranberry scone and I was just like a straight shot to the head. It was like drinking a Slurpee. And I just didn't know why. And it's kind of just like the texture of the beer, like it's unfiltered. It's like it seems like the way that it was, because it's, I don't know if it's made with grain or whatever that
That'd be a good, interesting conversation to have if it was made with grain that made it harder to chug or made it colder.
Well, like now a lot of breweries are adding bread and whatever else to
cereal
to get flavor and texture and mouthfeel and all these different things.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable what it does to the texture of the beer and how it's received. Like great beers.
I heard of it. But back to that point, it's funny how the things segue within each other in conversation, because I think Brutal Sours is going to be their seller. And I also think Celestial's Sours with George and Matt is going to be phenomenal too, because they've been killing it.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is really underrated, I've talked to George about this before, is their sour IPAs.
Yeah.
Like there's not a huge market on them. There's
The
not very
Pluto
many
replacement?
breweries get into it. That's George's wheelhouse. Like
Yeah.
sour IPAs is George's wheelhouse.
I still got a can left in my fridge, and I'm refusing to drink it because I wanted them to make another one.
What was it, Pluto? The
Pluto replacement, the first one they made. Listen, I remember when I met George. George looked up to me. I was like, I'm not a fan of sours. He's like, listen, it sounds cocky, but I'm gonna make you like sours.
Right.
And I'm like, whatever, bro.
Well, what's funny is like I've seen experience of people that don't like beer. They like not just craft. It's not like I just like Coors Light. It's like they just don't like craft. They don't like beer at all. And I've seen guys like my buddy Eric, who's in the club, comes up and he's like, oh, well, I tried all these different beers and I really like the sour and I like the sours, and he kind of gravitates towards the sours, which is kind of interesting to me. And it's like I don't know if it's just the hop or the grain or something in the beer that turns them off, and then when you try a sour, it seems like it converts it to a different flavor profile, and then it just seems more palatable.
Because when people think about beer, myself included, I love stouts, right? So before even I got into the beer game, excuse me, I like stouts. It felt better, it tastes better to my palate, and it was more balanced. Like Dos Equis, Coronas, Bud Light, all that stuff. Just skunky beers I drink between my shots at the bar.
I remember when I was like 21 years old, we went to this karaoke bar every Saturday night, and they had schooners of Dos Equis Amber for $2.
Yeah.
And we would just get sloppy on Saturday night singing karaoke, drinking $2 schooners.
But I used to drink Nickel Natty Nights at Dayton County.
Yeah, same thing.
I used to do that. Like, all right, here's $1. Give me all the Nickel Natties I could take with that.
Same thing.
When you're a kid, when you're younger, you drink whatever you want, whatever you can afford, actually, I should say.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's good beer, sometimes it's bad. Most of the time it's bad drinks, bad liquor, bad beer, because it's cheap. But I knew stouts were always a good balance, and then I fell in love with stouts. But when I started this podcast, I'm like, I hate IPAs, I hate Berliner Weissens, I hate wheat beers and stuff like that. And I had to stop saying I hate things because, sure enough, somewhere down the line, I'm gonna run into a beer that I'm like, actually, that's pretty fucking good. Bro.
It's amazing, like how your taste evolves on what you like. Because I used to be no sours.
Same
I don't want
here.
a sour. I don't want to try a sour. I don't want to drink a sour.
Yeah.
All I ever wanted was wheat beers and stouts. And don't get me wrong, you could put four tall glasses of Guinness in front of me, and I'd be at the bar just pounding glasses of Guinness all night. You know, and I can't even remember how many times I did that. And looking back, I'm like, that was so ridiculous. Like, it's so one-sided, and now to be able to have like the kind of variety when you go to a brewery like this or a tap room and see the sheer just like multitude of different kinds of styles of beers and flavors, and that are made with all these different adjuncts. I mean, it's unbelievable to see.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. And I stopped saying I don't like beer. I just try it, and maybe I still don't like the banana cloves. It bothers my taste buds a lot.
Yeah.
Like it irritates me. But I try any wheat beer that people put out in front of me because there might be a wheat beer out there that I'm like, this is gonna taste of life.
You know what killed me? The very first Pirate Noir, that one we had at Cool Keg, was the very first barrel-aged stout that I think I ever had.
No way, nice.
And I'd had like
good
some.
one, too.
I'd had some. Earlier that day, I'd had like Full Grown Nick by Tubbs.
Nice.
It's
solid stout.
We were out at one of the barbecue joints out in Dallas.
I thought you lived by Tubbs for a long time, bro.
No. I'm a West Side kid. Like I grew up in West Side of Fort Worth, South Side of Fort Worth. I'm a West Side kid, so I know my way around. I've always spent a lot of time in Dallas, a lot of deep down time, all that stuff. Going out to going to shows, seeing live music and stuff like that. But I'm always West Side kid.
Okay, I mean, like I said, for some reason I've always seen like you at Tubbs and you and Abby at Tubbs.
I've been out there, but I mean, like, I'll even make the drive to Canada to go see Jeremy and those guys at 903.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Canada.
I know it's far for
It's
me.
far,
I mean,
bro.
I live on the opposite side of 35 out here on the west side of Fort Worth.
Bro, it's far.
So that's solid 2 hours for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I might as well just drive to Waco. I mean, it's literally like the same distance.
I need to go check them out.
So but like getting into Prairie, I started getting into Prairie and collecting those those bottles when I could, and then that's then seeing some of the other stuff that like the reputation beers, like you scoop up the CBS when you see it, you scoop up the KDS when you see it, Founders all day, you buy as soon as barrel aged 1050 drops, you buy those, and then it's interesting because then you kind of start. That's crap for people that don't, in my opinion, they don't know anything about beer when they start getting into it because everybody knows about it. You know what I mean? It's like even the people who have been in craft for a long time go out and buy the BCBS on Black Friday because the beers are solid, they're consistently good.
Yeah.
And even if the previous year wasn't that good, the beer guys are still going to go out on Black Friday and scoop up whatever they can find because, like, honestly, at the end of the day, consistently, BCBS, the stouts and the straight up barley wines are going to be good. Now the adjuncts, the variants that they've done, not all of them have been home runs, but it's still worth taking a look.
Adjuncts are different. Adjuncts hit your taste bud differently.
But I mean, like when you get into craft, you start looking it up, doing some research, you start seeing, I want to try the BCBS, or I want to go I want to try Oscar Blues, or I'm going to try.
See, I've never been like that. My journey to craft beer has been like back ways in. Now, I really appreciate like your story, Abby's story, and then the love for the trade, the love for the beer, and really enjoying the beer in the community, right? I like those stories.
That's a hustle, man. Trade is a hustle.
Trust me,
all day.
it's a hustle. That's why I appreciate the stories. For me, my love for beer is second to my love to the beer community. For sure. So I've never researched about beers I wanted to try. I've never looked at it. I always looked at it like, oh, you're cool. I'll drink any beer you put in front of me. Oh, Matt's really cool. I've never been to Celestial yet, but I'm gonna go check out Matt's stuff, and then boom, I fell in love with all his beers.
I honestly have so many stories that I can continue to go through how much love I've been showing from craft beer as a whole. The guy Dane that I traded with up in Portland, all the Great Notion stuff, I didn't know him. I went on the Great Notion page and looked up and saw he was tagging pictures. And I hit him up and was like, hey man, DFW's putting out some good beers. Would you be interested in trading? And I've done that several times where guys were like, go to hell. DFW's not doing anything. And sure enough, he was like, yeah, I mean, I don't really trade that much anymore, but I'd be down. And now he's like, hey man, I can't wait for you to come to Portland because we're gonna hit up Great Ocean. You and your girl can stay with us. When you come up here, we got an extra room and stuff. And that's that great divide. I remember when we went to
We got the Brutal in the house now.
So, with that note being said, here's the other half of the podcast. We got Eric and Jason from Brutal to make all the amazing beers. Yeah? All the amazing beers. And then finally my co-host Prince showed up.
real good. I showed doing my hands.
Put it down.
Fuck.
But, so we were just talking about the amazing beers you guys make.
Cheers, buddy.
Thanks,
Appreciate it, guys. Cheers, sir. I'm not gonna enjoy this beer with you.
Yes,
Tell you
I'm
that.
gonna fucking enjoy
Not
this
ever gonna enjoy it.
Well, you enjoy a lot of beers with him, so you can say you're not going to enjoy this
I
one.
never enjoy one beer
beers together.
at all.
That's our thing.
Like,
We
I
say,
just
hey,
don't
we're gonna
like
drink
it.
this beer, but we're not gonna enjoy it.
That's fine.
I'm gonna look at your face. I'm gonna hate every second
Every
of it.
fucking second
Yeah.
of it.
Diego, I'm going to start saying that to you. My roommate, I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy this beer with you, bro. Already a shot.
I tell him to change his face all the time. It's like there's just something about it I hate. If you can change
It's a
it,
hateable face. You know?
it's a real
My mom said
punchable
the same
face.
thing when I was little.
Yeah, so this is going great. Yeah,
It's going
sorry.
great. I love it. No, I love it. This is called Drunk in Public for a reason. But what I would say is this. I'm really impressed about you guys' consistency about making a new beer and releasing, or not making, but releasing a new beer every week, 1 or 2
Yeah,
beers
man.
every week. And it's super impressive. That's why I've been talking about you guys nonstop on Beer Weekend Update.
Cool,
I
man.
talk about your beers releasing every Thursday.
Dude, that's like so busy, especially with you guys just brewing. That's like not like every Monday you guys are in here just fucking brewing beer, right?
Yep.
Which I gotta be honest, like every Monday I'm like, I wonder what they're putting in the beer. It's Lucky Charms, it's pumpkin pie,
Yeah,
it's
man.
upside down
It's
cake.
something ridiculous.
Yeah, no, we got a beer coming out tomorrow too. We're doing a breast cancer. It's like a raffle type thing. We're gonna have a bunch of people in here, share your stories. We're gonna give away a certain percentage of the beer, of the money for that beer to Susan Coleman. So yeah,
What's the name of the beer?
we don't even know yet. Like we
So I
gotta
think
figure
we
that
need to
out.
let the one of the ladies coming in tomorrow name it.
Just beforehand.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's fine with me. I don't
Well,
care.
whenever you get the beer, text me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. So I'll make the video tomorrow and have it drop.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like you guys are doing a walk tomorrow.
Yep. We'll be out at Clyde Park.
Video was cool, by the way. Appreciate that for at least repping the shirt. That was, I know the sentiment behind everything, so that was really cool, man.
So I don't know if you know this, but like my sister died last July of breast cancer. So it's always been like, it's life.
It is,
But it's always been
but
like-
it's terrible, man.
Yeah,
It sucks.
But it's always this is one of those events that I just won't miss. Like we do a Veterans Day event in November that I'm always gone for.
Right.
And my chapter's always like, dude, seriously, dude, third one you're gonna miss. And I'm like, dude, I'm gone. It's a National Beard Mustache Championship up in Chicago. And that's where I got a bunch of family up there. I'm like, all right, I'll make everything else the whole year.
I got a question about that. Did they have a nipple hair contest? Like
No,
whenever-
but we should. We should.
It should be a
Is
thing.
it just like chest hair or just nipples only?
No, just nipples only. Mine looks
up.
like the wizard from Lord of the Rings.
Okay,
Can we see it?
but could you
No,
put
you gotta pay to see that, sir.
could you put a
damn it.
hat on it? Like maybe a
Could
staff?
you do this like the mustache?
I could Gandalf it, like a wizard hat.
I mean, like, there's a
Friends would like
category
to
there
see it.
somewhere.
I said no. Okay, that's enough.
My bad. You know what?
Hashtag
Nobody's
me
knows.
too.
Hashtag, you know
Just
what right?
ask him if the camera's off, he'll definitely show you.
Oh, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
So going back to like how small the beer world is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I met Jason at it was the anniversary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Turning Point anniversary.
Oh, nice.
But I also seen you a couple times that because you're kind of hard to forget. I mean,
The
scary looking dude.
The
big
best beard in Texas.
He's got rings on. You're like, dude, this dude's gonna punch me in the face and like.
All he needs
I
is
saw
a
you at
bike
the
now.
movie theater.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Which
was
one?
That? No, that wasn't you.
That was another beer.
That was another
but I
beer.
seen you at a couple
Sorry.
of Dick Belding shows, like several.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
who the fuck's that bad motherfucker over
I
there?
work with those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so I seen you there, but yeah, the first time I actually went up, it was like, dude, what the fuck's all these rings for?
Because
man?
they play over here at O'Shea's in Paris about
Yeah.
like once a month or every couple months.
Yeah, we try to catch it every Saturday after work. We leave here and we go to catch the show.
And my mom
Oh, that's what
lives-
y'all do?
We did last weekend.
No,
We were
that's
here.
cool, man.
And my, My mom
Thanks
lives.
for the invite.
You know, my mom lives back here behind the school.
Yeah.
So like, I'll come up here and I'll be like, "Hey, I know it's like 2 in the morning, but can I crash on your couch? I'm gonna take an Uber over." And she's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm being responsible. You wouldn't have drank all the beer if you were being responsible."
Meatloaf!
I'm like, "I'm not driving. I'm not driving, Mom."
Don't you judge me, Mom.
Ma, get the meatloaf. Remember that shit?
No.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah, wedding crashes.
There you go.
I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Sorry.
I really hate your face.
Step Brothers.
All right, so
This guy gets
what are we
it.
talking about again?
Torment is what it was called. Torment. Is
Oh,
their
the mint
one.
stout?
Yeah.
We
Black Pearl.
We just opened that one.
That was
Did
a
you
good
get the Black Pearl or did you miss that?
No, I had it. I think I had it up here. I actually the crowd. that
Oh,
was
yeah,
Torment,
yeah. That,
We finally opened it.
I miss all your stouts all the time.
one. May have one next week.
I'm gonna try to make it. I just live so far. I live an hour and a half away.
I'm telling you,
It's just excuses. It's
sours,
cool, man.
You know what?
Or
You're
what I'm
right.
most
You're right. It's
excited
just
about.
excuses. I need to make it out here regardless.
but it's a long
live in
ways away,
Dallas?
man.
dude, just you let me know what you need from here and from Turning Point. And you catch Celestial and fucking
done.
whatever's up there. And
I work right down the street from Celestial.
when we
Dude, I live in Waco.
No, you don't, for real.
I don't. I live in Waco. Wait, what? No.
I was there.
No excuses.
No, for these West Side, like I'm a West Side kid. I grew up on the West Side. I'll drive out. He said, see me at Tubbs and 903 or Tubbs
Yeah.
and
I see you at Tubbs and Lonnie and
Celestial.
Celestial, and I'm like,
But I'm
I
like,
bet you lived by Tubbs.
I just make the drive. Like
Yeah.
Celestial's easier for me because I can hit up 183.
See, and I want to
Tubbs
go.
is
I
a
wanna
little
go
more
to,
difficult.
903, but I've
Yeah.
never been out there. But
It's like
man,
up
a
in
long ways
Canada?
out
Yeah, it's
there,
like on
man.
Waco.
Come
It's
to
2
Tubbs.
hours.
When I do a podcast
I've never
with
been there.
Jeremy,
I live on the west side of 35.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
really
on the
need to get
Waco.
up
It's a
there.
2-hour
I've
shot.
never been out
In fact,
there.
I could probably make it to Magnolia Silos in Waco 5 minutes earlier than if I went up to 903.
I've never been there, man.
I
wanna
love
go.
Jeremy. Like I went up
Yeah.
there for their anniversary. They have a ton of great beers. Plus they're doing
Slushies?
Slushy Fest.
Yeah.
That's but it's the 26th. It's the same day as the Celestial anniversary party.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a podcast that morning at.
Dude, you know how much an Uber would be from fucking Sherman all the way to west side of Fort Worth?
$400.
$3,000. Like
I was gonna say your paycheck,
Yeah.
because Ubers don't go up that way.
I would have to commit to give my kidney when I got home. I mean, like,
Well, in Tubbs, I've only been to Tubbs twice for Brewers Guild meetings,
Never been.
and that's a cool spot.
Sometimes it's cool. I like the little environment, but I just wish I had AC.
it's a cool spot when it's
Cool
when the
outside,
season
right.
Yeah.
plays. Yeah.
So
We did
right
it.
now would be perfect
You'd be perfect right now. I was out there in
because
the
today was
summer.
beautiful.
I was out there in the summertime. I was so mad I was at work. I was like,
See, the last before I went up there, they weren't doing the hazy series or anything. They weren't doing any of that. So this was like maybe year 1 or year 2, maybe.
I jumped in on DDH2, and I was like, what the fresh hell is this? This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then it's been like every time, and then, they started building their variants and doing, TDH and, all the variant series. I think the first variant I had was like the raspberry one.
the peach sour is my favorite variant of all time. I love that shit.
People gave it so much shit
Yeah.
about being a sour IPA. Like,
See, that's just new coming in the fringe in DFW.
well, you guys do so many great beers, but for me,
The
I
sours-
feel like the sours are knockout. Like
Yeah.
all
Sweet.
ever since I've been up here, all the beers that I've had, the stouts are great. The
Upside Down was phenomenal, by the way. The new beer you guys dropped.
The fruit IPAs are
Thank you.
great, but the sours are just like knockout. Like they're really good.
So what is it? The fact that they're not so sour or they're just crazy crushable?
Both for that. Because when you do a traditional sour that's super tart, it bothers like the back of my neck where most of the sourness might hit you, and it
Yeah.
doesn't leave. Like it hits hard and it fucks with me too much.
That's one of the things I like about people like Burley Oak and and like the Dream series. Like you'll get on one that's like it has
So you
some
like it
sweet,
super sour?
but it has some sweetness to it, but it's balanced on some really sour.
I like it
You know what I
balanced.
mean? Like
I got a beer like that from Fieldwork in the fridge. I can go grab it here in a second. They did a sour. They added lactose to it. This beer tastes like straight up Skittles,
yeah.
and it's fucking awesome. Like I haven't had a beer like that. I was
Wait,
like, holy shit.
As long as it tastes like Skittles, but it's not gray, because I've seen that before. You know what I'm talking about. I was telling him
I
about
don't wanna know about it.
I was telling him about the homebrew competition, about how you like the guy.
Yeah, he made Skittle Brow. And I don't know what the base beer was. Mikey Brown.
Yeah.
He makes a Skittle beer. And so he's been doing this for years. Like, Martin House Riverside Shootout homebrew competition. I think it was maybe 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He
And
does it
did-
every so often.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did Skittle Brow, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with the Skittles, man? He's like, put them in this beer, and I was like, what? So I don't know if he boiled them and reduced them down. I can't remember what he did, but it was crazy. And it tastes like freaking Skittles, man. It
He's
was
a good brewer. Mikey's super knowledgeable too. Mikey's a good dude.
It was a great beer.
That's
I was
awesome.
surprised. I was like, wow, this
Yeah,
tastes
bro, I
like
was saying it
freaking
just
Skittles.
couldn't make it too expensive, and it happens sometimes. You make a beer at the house and you could afford to make, but when you try to do it on a big production system, like
Yeah, you know, and that was the thing. Is like with his, like, we wanted to score him higher, but it's like, what's the feasibility part of it? It's like, how can we make this beer? How can we reproduce it? And how can we do it in a fashion that doesn't cost a ton of money? Well, just couldn't figure it out, you know. So
because you don't want to lose.
no, you definitely don't want to lose, but
I think that's why people jump on those like small batch beers when you hear.
I love small batch
When you hear
beers.
they're like, oh, we put 30 pounds of Butterfinger in it. Or we put
There's 30 boxes of Lucky Charms in that
I showed that picture.
Feed the Beast beer.
So one of my coworkers hates beer, and I've been trying to get her to come here. Like, if you come to Brutal, there's gonna be a beer you like. Trust me.
I'm super excited about that one because I've had the Lucky Charms stout that Red Horn did. But you guys are doing an IPA,
milkshake IPA.
and I
Yeah,
feel a little tingly about it.
yeah. It's
so it's gonna be on marshmallows.
I'm gonna
and
show up
vanilla.
wearing a bunch of green shit. I'm trying to talk with Irish accent.
If you wear, I wear green all day too. I wear. Let me know where you going. I wear green all day.
No, man. I was talking earlier to a group of guys on the Chug, Jeremy.
Yeah, shout
And,
out to Jeremy.
yeah,
Solid
man,
podcast.
that
Go
dude-
follow. If you're not following the Chug, follow
Yeah,
on
go to
YouTube,
the Chug, man. That
Instagram,
dude's-
Facebook.
That dude's awesome. But
They have a setup that makes mine look like shit, but they're awesome dudes.
yeah, they are. They're super nice. I've known that guy for a while. Great brewer.
He's a good homebrewer too.
But no, man, just being able to throw out whatever the hell we want to do, and that's kind of what I was telling him earlier. Is like, I know what beer I'm brewing Monday, but I'm doing 2 batches. I don't know what the second batch. I have no freaking clue. I'll think about it Sunday night. Monday, hey, what do you think about this?
Figure it out.
Yeah, it's like, okay, all right, let's do this. And the names don't come until fucking 30 minutes before we open sometimes. Stupid. It's completely stupid.
I like it. Here's the
But-
thing. But I've been wanting to say this to Brad for a while, and for the last few weeks on the podcast, and just on Beer Week and Update, what I like to say about this is I don't like beer traditionally. I'm not a big beer fan, and I'm still beer for the beer community that I love is second to what I like about people. I like the people that make beer.
Gotcha.
Beer is second to me, you know. But I fell in love. I really feel lucky, and I fell in love that the time I came to the beer community was 2 years ago. And the small batch systems everybody's working on, you guys coming around, Celestial coming around, Turning Point coming around, all these great brewers and breweries popping up in the last few years I've been involved with in the community is amazing. It's you guys changed the face of the beer community here. You know?
I came into it, unlike you. You've been in it professionally for a while. I came in it, I don't think the face has changed. I just think it's getting more known. That's my opinion to it.
Well, it's simple. I think it's changed not because you guys like you turn your back on the rest of the breweries here because everybody still hangs out with Gavin. Everybody still loves Raw, still loves Three Nations, still loves Petty Colas. They still do their thing. Everybody still loves those beers and everybody still hangs out with each other. It's not like you turn your back and said fuck them. But what I'm saying what changed the game is you guys did it what you want to do, where you want to make small batch system, you want to be unique, you want to do something you want to drink, and you
can
do
work.
it.
It can work.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and
we showed
we still brew like traditional style beers too. I mean, that's
But I like that you guys brew what you want to brew.
exactly. Yeah, I mean that's what it's about. Like, yeah, you want to run a business and you want to make money, but at the same time, you want it to be fun.
Yeah.
So, for somebody like me, I always feel like I have like this overarching sense of loyalty to craft. And as the demand of a brewery gets bigger and the production grows, it feels like the quality lags.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to hang anybody out on it, but you know, it's like
Is
the
it quality
people,
or originality? Not to cut you
maybe,
off.
maybe a little bit of both.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of both. Like, you know,
I like that question. That's a good question.
The beers and the breweries that I used to be more loyal to or have, you know, want to drink more of, have kind of fallen off, and I tend to find myself reaching into people not only that I have more of a relationship with, but also the people that I feel like are pushing, you know, that envelope, that line of doing things that are not what are traditionally done locally.
They're just a little different. Yeah.
You know exactly where that start from is the homebrew community. That's exactly where every bit of it starts from. Whenever you think about it, these guys, like you're talking about Skittle Brow, these guys are throwing out beers that you can't reproduce, like you said, on a bigger scale. But when you really look at it, they're throwing out so many different things, original concepts. Oh, hey, I can try this. Cost me $35. Boom. And then they hone that in, and guess what? They go up to the local brewery. Hey, man, I got this recipe. Those guys are cool enough. They'll try and be like, let's work together. Let's do something and get your beer out there. But it's defining this small craft movement.
Well, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I agree with you on that. Well, I just feel lucky to be with you guys here now. You know. Well, it's weird when you get into a bigger brewery. I mean, I like how he looks away when he does that. Like,
No. I'm checking the front, man. I'm checking the front. I promise. I'm gonna go grab that beer though.
But you know, you think about stuff like that. It's like when you get bigger, your demand can be different. Your schedules can be different, and so you're trying to hit a lot of things that you're like, hey man, I got people in Corpus want beer, I got this, and they're wanting this.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's not a lot of time sometimes to experiment. You know, I've even got a tattoo of the artwork.
Appreciate you guys.
That's right there. Cheers. No, the new beer. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you for the beer, sir.
Thank you guys.
Dude, the nose on that's crazy. It's sour, but it's like
That's not a sour beer. Get the fuck out of here.
This is sour, man.
Kettle sour, right?
Like,
can
it
tell
tastes
by
like fruit punch, man.
hold on, but you can tell the sour on the nose, but you also get like
Bro, this
I get
is
like a
fucking
cherry
dangerous.
cola smell.
it smells like Fruity Pebbles to me.
Where
I get
from?
I almost get a red cream soda. Go get a red
California?
cream soda from the back, and that's what it smells like.
You
Tastes a
said?
little bit. Dude, that's
Red
nuts.
cream soda,
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I had last week in California, man. And I was like, I got to get a crowler. I got to get a crowler
This is
of it.
fucking dangerous, bro.
It's fruit punch. That's what it is.
That's
So
what
is
it
it like
is.
tart cherry, sweet cherry?
They call it rainbow parfait, and that's what I was saying. Like, if you think Skittles, that's what I get from it is straight up Skittles. Like, you have that juicy flavor to it.
I get the sour, like it's dry. It's not.
You ever
it's not
did
traditionally
Skittle
tart.
vodka? You have the
No,
Skittle sit overnight?
Skittle Zima.
Sounds like a
No,
terrible
you take
idea.
an actual Grey Goose vodka, you put a whole, bunch of bags of Skittles with it, and let the Skittle flavors dissolve in it.
Is it gray?
No, you separate
What's
the
with the
colors.
gray? Like, can y'all let me
I don't know
answer?
what the
No,
gray
it,
is.
it looks like
What are you
that's what
talking
it
about?
turns
But,
into, like
yeah,
the color of it.
If you mix all the Skittles together because
No
you're
shit.
putting the red and the purple
Like a
and everything,
purplish gray?
it turns
Yeah.
purplish gray, and then you mix it with beer, and then it turns like that color.
Yeah, it
that
just looks
color
like
gray.
a
So
weird.
like in painting cars and stuff, when you mix all of them together too, it's that purplish gray nasty
Color.
shit color. It's
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, you separate the colors out that you want, but it tastes like Skittles.
Looks like garbage water. I'm not saying it tastes like that. I'm just saying.
right, but it just look here.
You ever had the shot the other night where you do the bar mat shot?
Oh God!
I have done that. I've played a game before. Everyone's putting their cigarettes out on it. I was so drunk, I rang it out the shot glass, took a shot of it. It was disgusting.
It's always disgusting.
Oh man.
In Dayton, back in the days, I forgot the name of the bar right now. I'm so sorry, I forgot the name of the bar. But they had like this pin that you win, and you can put on this board, and it drops down and lets you know where you're gonna drink at the end. And it's a
Nope.
chance game. And
Nope.
one of the chances was the bar mat.
I'm out, bro.
And I landed on the bar mat, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm a grown man."
You did it?
I did it.
That's just disgusting, man. I can't do that. There's no way.
I feel like if you have to say that, then you're done.
Yeah.
Like if you go, fuck it, I'm a grown man, they're like, you're cut off.
Yeah,
Get
you're
your
out.
shit, get
Yeah.
out. Like,
Get out of here.
Someone will drive you home.
Bro.
That's like one of the things that I always kind of hold on to. Is like, it's not just your loyalty to beer. You know, it's like the relationships that you build within the community. And
Facts.
I remember I went to Luckapalooza at out of Trinity Groves and had a great time. It was one of the first times I, had a lot of. I mean, I'll be honest, like Dom and the guys from False Idol were like feeding me beers at the end because they were trying to kill their kegs. You guys were out there, weren't you out there?
That was a year, 2 years.
We did 2 years ago. Was the last time we were there? Yeah.
I mean, so disrespectful wearing False Idol's hat. Brutal. I need a hat. I need a brutal hat.
We got it. We need hats.
So we
I ain't even
jammed.
wearing one of my hats tonight. Like, that's
So
shit.
I jammed from there, and I went over to Celestial because they had released like a small amount of the Andromeda glasses, and I sent a message over to the page, and I was like, "Is there any way that you guys would hold one of these for me?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "That's awesome." And it had been like a month since I sent the message, so I'm like, "There's no way." So I go up there on a Sunday, and Matt was working by himself, and I'm just like, you guys don't have a glass for me, dude. And he was like, oh yeah, it's in the storage room. Let me grab it. And he grabbed it. Sure enough.
Oh, wait, a month later?
Whole for Brad, you know, and he's like, yeah, why don't you hang out and we'll try some of the beers. And that's always been like what I love about like the local community. It's like it's like you're loyalty. It's not just about the beer, you know what I mean? It's like it's the relationships.
Well, no,
it's the
you
loyalty
build
to
a lot of
breweries.
relationships. Like, I mean, just from us starting this, you meet so many people, you end up with new friends, people to hang out with or whatever. But it's the stories too that are told. I mean, you don't like this. This is one thing that. Like, I used to be a volunteer fireman back home, right? So, I mean, that's a pretty tight-knit group of people. You go to another fire department, you're a brother, right? That's a lot like it is in beer. And there's so many, like, connections you can make over it. It's just crazy. I wouldn't have thought when I first got into the beer industry it was that way.
Same here.
But it's crazy, man.
You know how many times I get, a competitor, what do you think about Turning Point, down the street? No, man, great. The more craft beer, the better. Like,
Right.
that's my opinion. And predominantly, if you go ask someone in the same vein in this industry, is what I've noticed, same exact way.
Well, were you brewing with Harrington at the same time when you were at Martin House?
Like just hanging out with him or what?
Did y'all brew at the same time?
No, we didn't brew. No. Me and Harrington met at Cap'n here, the homebrew club.
Oh, yeah.
I met Harrington before I was even in beer here. We were just homebrewers. I didn't even live here. My wife lived here in Fort Worth because
My
her job
wife.
moved here. And so I was coming down during the weekends.
Sorry.
And
Why you let this guy mess with you all day?
I mean, you just keep talking. It's fun.
Jason's a nice guy.
Eric's the
I'm
dick.
the asshole. Yeah.
But stuff like that. So I met him before both of us were in a professional brewery at all. You know.
No.
Dig it,
So
man.
I got a question for all three of you.
Mostly anal.
Always anal.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought
Always
you already
anal.
asked the question.
Wait, front ways or never mind?
Back ways?
Proceed.
No. So my biggest argument for anybody coming to the DFW community, we have great beers. We're number one nationwide. I say we compete. I don't know about number one. I don't do beer trades. But when I say we're number one, and I'll fight anybody, invite me to your community. I think we have the best beer community in the United States. DFW.
So I know y'all are gonna have a different opinion on this, but I think my opinion is we definitely don't have the best beer nationwide. I mean, per capita, California just kills it.
Right.
I mean, there's so many great breweries in such a small area, and you can go to different little pockets where they have just tons of great beers.
Great. That's why I say I haven't tried a lot of beers to say I can say who has the best beers.
But I can definitely tell you that the mindset, the culture, the community is different.
I
Like,
think-
they are going to have some loyalty to each other, but I feel like we tend to be a little bit more welcoming of people that we don't know, that don't know much about craft, or maybe that have the desire to learn about it.
You know why that is, though, right? Everyone wants the beer to get better. It doesn't matter if you think it's the best or not. Everyone has the same mindset. It's got to be better. And it's not a dickhead thing to say. We just want to be better at what we're doing. And we come in every day and want to do the same damn thing. So as brewers, feel the same way. As a community, y'all have every right to think about it going, hey, this is good, but it can be better. And you're not the majority of the time, people aren't shitting on people.
There's always gonna be dickheads out there, and we don't talk about the dickheads, but
They need to be talked about.
we don't need to talk about
No.
them.
And it's a
Some of
part
the
of
people,
it.
some of the people that are the biggest supporters are the same one that go up and shit post about the one beer that you brewed that you're just like,
Yeah,
this
no,
is total
no,
garbage.
but
I
every
can't believe they
brewery
wouldn't
needs
brew
it. Every brewery needs it because if everyone just gets on their knees and bows down, it's the greatest. Then how great can they really go?
This is true. There's a difference between being but I don't want to talk about that. But it is a community of uplifting. Like when Turning Point opened, right? They promoted Celestial opening.
Yeah, for sure.
When you guys opened, Turning Point and Celestial promoted you guys opening. Falsado promoted you guys. Everybody in the community welcomed you guys opening up, and no one said, "Fuck Brutal." They live in
I did.
fuck each other.
I did. Every day. It's like, fuck, brutal. Like, no, you
I
did
know
it
what I
too.
know.
Don't play it like you didn't.
I'm doing it right now.
We sat up here every day going, fuck, brutal.
Hard.
Yeah. No, with our, what was it, crowbar with the tiles,
Paint on the
the
windows.
duct tape, and the scraping the paint. Every day. Fuck, brutal.
No, it's hard work, and I appreciate you guys doing all the hard work because this place looks amazing now. But it's a welcome community, and I think I agree with Brad. What he's saying is that I would do the beer, and even with this podcast, I tell people I don't know nothing about beer, but I enjoy the community, and I'm willing to talk about it.
For sure.
I don't know anything about it, but everybody welcomes me with open arms and talks to me like I matter. And they do that with other brewers, other customers. It's a very like, yo, come hang out, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, I remember when y'all opened that Father's Day weekend, I was gonna come up here, and I remember somebody told me like how busy it was, and I was like, hey, rightly so. Like because all the traffic y'all get here, like it should be busy. And I was like, I'll miss it. I'll make it again. I'm in the area. And I remember I posted, I was like, can't wait to try these guys out. They're gonna be on it. And sure enough, as soon as I started hearing the people, like, hey man, you guys haven't tried Beerwork. Get over there. I need to go in there and finally break it down and see what's up. And I remember the first time I came in here, I was like, you guys like don't even know, like these guys are gonna be big. They're gonna do some big stuff. And it feels like every time I come in here, you guys are doing something else. You're pushing that, you know, that needle of where you guys want to be. And that's like really what's passionate, like what I'm passionate about. Like I want to try new beers. I don't want to try the same, like trust me. If I can be a hazy boy. If I just stuck to the haze, I could, there'd be 3 breweries in the area that I would go to that I would get all of it from. Right. But, I don't want to just drink haze. Right. I want to drink things that push that envelope, that push my sense of comfort of what I think is good. Right. That's one of the reasons why I think the pickle beer succeeded so well for Martin House, because there were people that did not like pickles who drank the pickle beer, and they were like, man, I don't know why, but it works.
Right.
I get that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can appreciate that all damn day long. I didn't, like, that pickle beer wasn't my favorite, but could I see you mowing the lawn and crushing one afterwards? Yeah. I can see that all day long.
I hate pickles, so I didn't touch the beer.
I've had a pickle beer. Like, you're out 2 hours, sunburnt, tired, sweaty. You drink a pickle beer. You're like,
I get that.
That's really good. Like,
pretty refreshing.
Am I going to reach for a 4 or 6-pack of it? Probably not.
But at the same time,
but I can crush one.
I'm not going to come in for being outside and drink like my 14% stout that's been under my cabinet at 70 degrees for the last 4 months. There's no way.
I might.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to chew through it. I don't want to chew through it.
I might drink that while I'm mowing the
yard. I might hate you drinking that.
I might hate you drinking that.
I may FaceTime you flipping you off drinking it.
It's like, I'm drinking this beer just for you, so fuck you.
I could probably
I tend to be so much of a principle-based guy. Like, somebody would be like, oh, I bet you won't shotgun a 1050. Like, I'm going to buy one on the way home, and you'll have a video later.
Son. Yeah. We're doing it.
I actually have a video of shotgunning a stovepipe on the dog page. And I shotgunned it, and I put the can down, and I stopped the video, and I went and stood at my sink, and my body was just like rejecting it. And I stood there for like 10 minutes until I finally calmed down, and like 10 minutes later I was like, we gotta go get something to eat. I'm tired.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you.
They did something like that at Martin House, right? Not just as them being goofy, right, and having fun. And it was after hours or whatever, and I can't remember what it was, but they were chugging out of this pitcher of beer or whatever, and you had to do it under a certain time or the fastest. And so I didn't get into those shenanigans, right? Like I'm 39 years old.
Shenanigans.
I'm at the restaurant where they have like all the pins and stuff.
Oh, shenanigans. Ooh. But those dudes were doing it, and then you would see their faces, and you're like, dude, he's gonna fucking throw up. And you're waiting and waiting. It's like, why would you do that to yourself? Like,
because he started a trend.
Your body's just like
Flavor Meister.
Oh my god.
Oh,
See,
yeah, I can't bring myself to try that.
I haven't had it.
Is that
it's a beer
black
that
licorice
it's a beer that tastes like Jägermeister.
I can't. I had a bad experience with Jägermeister. Jägermeister, whenever you're
He found out that if you put it in your butt and do it, shot that way? Or like,
it's the best way.
Is
that what you're going with? It's the best way.
Like, he was in a coma for 3 days.
Butt chug's the only way to drink. Is it? That's what I heard.
No, I drank Jägermeister and ate a bunch of Cheetos. You do not want to see that throw up. That throw up is.
It's like a neon.
It's great. Like what you're talking. It looks like gray Play-Doh.
For me,
like that little kid on Big Daddy.
Yeah. For me, I can't drink rubber mix no more.
I've never drank that.
So you say drink Jägermeister, drink Cheetos, and I think like I'm gonna go to a rave where there's gonna be a bunch of blacklight paint on the wall.
EDM all night.
Yeah, exactly.
So also on the
I don't
camera,
have any blisters on my truck.
Wait. Also on the camera, I just want to point out, Eric keeps cleaning the same spot.
I'm sorry, man. I keep looking back too. I'm just making sure they're not busy.
No, but I just like it on the camera. I'm just
all right.
count how many times he did it. He
done.
refolds the napkin.
Done, man.
That's
Well,
fine.
that spot's clean.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Nah, y'all
There's
see
no,
these
there's no
tables.
resin on it or anything.
Yeah,
Look at it.
down the
Look how
wood.
clean it is.
Man, fuck
What's
y'all.
funny is there's, like 2 inches out, there's fingerprints all over the
That's what I'm
table.
saying. Look at
It looks like a
Smart.
murder scene right here.
It's polished.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
Look at the circle he got right there.
No, I got
Point
the
out my
I
shit.
got the wine lens. It's gonna warp you.
You can put it right here where our pile.
No, we're
Yeah,
good.
put it where the dead guys.
So by the way, thank you
dead
for the
guys.
amazing beer.
Oh, fuck, man. Just keep crushing.
We gotta open that one.
You guys gonna need your glasses back.
Hey, what y'all think of the label? You like it's pretty tight. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's label's
Say
fire.
tight.
Fire.
Say tight. It's not 96.
That's fine.
It's not 96.
It was tight and sick.
Point like a
Bring back the
tiger.
90s.
Yeah. Some Who let the dogs out? I can't.
That's
What's really going on? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go shoot myself in the face. We'll be back in like 10 minutes.
You just gotta go shotgun a beer. That's what you're gonna do.
I like to use my gun yesterday.
I'm really gonna stand up and be like, I want you to know, I hate you, but I'll be back.
Yeah. I don't like anything
Fuck.
about what you're doing, but I'll be back.
That really just happened.
We have that conversation a lot. It's like, dude, I really hate your face. I really don't like you. And then
No, I was telling him after y'all were shit posting on me a second ago. You shitting on me. I told him the podcast I did earlier today. These motherfuckers were shitting on me because I didn't bring enough beer. And I was like, this is just a normal thing. I just get shit on wherever I go,
over
man.
here, big boy. See, if I do that, I'm not gonna be able to finish anything.
Did you bring your bike?
Anything.
No.
Anything.
Oh fuck.
That was good. Number 4, Galactic Hero. That's delicious.
Should we drink this one?
We should.
Do I need some more glasses?
No, we got glasses right here.
Crack one in there. Fuck it.
I really want to drink that after this one. Because I can still, smell that. It smells like
No,
marshmallows.
it's bad.
Crazy, man.
Oh,
This
it's
is a good beer
stout.
though, right?
No, look, it's gone. There's no
still
residual
really
sour. It smells like marshmallows.
Oh yeah. I have a ton of vanilla. I get tart cherry.
It's crazy though, right?
What
I mean,
else
it's
do you
a good
think's
beer.
in it?
I don't fucking know. I do get that cherry. I know you're talking about.
I got you, bro.
Cool, man.
We did a shit post on you. Don't worry about it.
It's good. After the who let the dogs out, yeah.
What'd y'all drink? We had all of these.
Every
You know,
beer here.
you know what's crazy? Like you said, the beer community.
It's phenomenal.
Even people not even on the pages or anything like that, but it's even people that just come into your bar every day that aren't like maybe they aren't craft beer guys, but they're at your place, right? Every week or
Thanks,
whatever. And it turns into family.
What do you have here? Yeah, I know. What do you have here that's a wheat beer? Do you have like a wheat beer?
Don't you have a
Do you have
Bourbon
a,
right
yeah.
now?
What, I drink a lager. Do you guys have like, what's the closest thing that you have to a lager?
Oh, you talking about people. I'll tell you
Now
this.
listen,
But you'll get guys that are local, right? That do the same thing.
no,
So
absolutely.
the whole
but-
wheat beer. Like I get a text message from my buddy earlier. Is this the same person asking if that's a wheat beer? Like online, like
But we
It-
get,
every
we
day.
get people that live around the corner or whatever that come in constantly or coming in here. But we had a couple today get engaged here. Like they love this place, they love being here,
Maple
and they
syrup.
like craft beer
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. I get
But
the maple syrup
they
like
found
crazy.
it to where this is their home, this is what they enjoy. So a couple months ago, they asked us, reached out and said, "Hey, man,"
feel like this is like a
he's like,
better
"I would like to
version
propose
of
to my fiance or my girlfriend here. That'd be cool." We're like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome." But it
Probably
is
the
it's
same
like,
recipe.
Now those guys are going to have that memory here,
But it's not as sweet
family
as you would
and
think.
community.
It's little.
And
You get the
I think
cocoa
that's
on
the
the
coolest
back.
thing about craft beer. And like the great
Maple
beer,
syrup,
yes, I
crazy.
love beer. I love hanging out. But it's what you build, the relationships you build with
I
each
get,
other.
like I go
Because,
maple,
like you've been here, I've been here a handful of times.
cocoa, and then it finishes
But the
like
more
coconut
times you
sweet.
keep coming around,
Like
the more
that
times I
coconut
get to
sweet on
visit
the
with
back.
you,
To let it
the
warm
more
up.
we're going to be
Just
brothers.
maple
We're going to
all
enjoy.
day
You're going to
long,
invite me.
man.
I'm going to invite you. And the same with Brad. Met Brad, started inviting him out. He shows up. He comes out. He supports. It turns into a brotherhood more than just in family. Yeah,
That's why
just in the beer.
I want to get
The
in
beer's-
on that.
The beer's a great thing.
You know
but
what's funny is like about 60% of the time, he's like, "What do you want to drink?" And I'm like, "I want to open some of these cans. Like, let's open cans, sit over here, and just like drink or whatever." Like, I don't like. I love beer, but I love sharing beer more than anything.
But that's
You know, it's
why
like,
I
I'm
always
like,
say, for me personally, and I
That's
feel
a
like
good
for a
beer.
lot of people,
I can smell the maple from here.
I can smell the maple from here too. But I feel like a lot of us deep in the beer community,
the beers are great, but the beers are not priority. It's the people that you fall in love with and when I hang out with. You know, it's like Brian comes in here and he just did a beer trade and he got a bunch of beer from Portland. He be like, yo, I just got this in. Let's try some of these beers.
Right.
And it's not about like.
Well, then that's the deal. It's like
And I'm a
Brad,
shithead. Like, imagine if I was cool.
Exactly.
Brad brings us a lot of beer, and we
I feel
don't
the same
bring-
way
we don't
about
have beer to
myself.
bring Brad.
Well, yeah,
Brad
everyone's
comes
like,
in and he shares his beer.
when you come in and
Make
share
great
your beer,
you know,
I'm,
that's-
and I know
that's the cool
everyone
part.
notices.
Everybody's
I'm
just in
paying
the level
attention
like,
to the front,
yo, I
and
know
I
you
come off like
appreciate
an
this beer, or I just got
asshole
something in there I
because
know
I'm
you
just
didn't
trying to
get.
get
Yeah.
shit done.
Exactly. I want to share with somebody that's going to appreciate it as much as I do, or no, exactly.
Yeah. So let's drink this beautiful stout. I know we already had some sips.
I'm
Chug it.
still
You gotta
finishing
sip it. You
this.
let it warm up and sip it.
Oh, we gotta sip it?
Try it.
I thought it was warm already.
Try it. No.
I smell the maple, caramel, maybe toffee. It's toffee and
Solid.
maple is what I get.
So, like,
Solid beer, man.
I smell that coconut.
how warm do you want your stout to be?
So if I get a full pour, I'm drinking about half of it right then and there, and then waiting about 20, 25 minutes, getting another beer in between just to see where it goes. My things are stouts get so much better with a little bit of warmth.
I
man.
feel like if I
Just
buy
a little bit.
I feel like if I buy a bottle or a full bottle out of the fridge, I'll fill the glass, put the glass down, drink whatever's in there, and then just leave the glass and walk away for 30 minutes or 45 minutes.
different
until it's
experience,
just
man.
Because when it's cold, I feel like when it's cold, you get the sweet, you get all the up front, you get the punch, and then when you let it sit, it just evolves. It becomes something else.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
malt, you get
Hey, Ricky!
not just. It's
Nice.
all just
Nice
What's up,
tits.
Ricky? What's up, Ricky?
Love that guy.
Love that guy.
It's a Mexican fester.
That's right.
He's a good guy.
You know, I can't get that out of
Nice
my head
tits.
right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
I just see the whole black outfit and no neck. No, I agree with you. I like
After
them.
drinking that sour, I don't know what it tastes like to you guys, but I get almost like a bourbon finish on the back end, or like it's been barrel aged.
Is that the maple? You think it's a maple?
Maybe it is.
Well, there's coconut too.
So those,
See,
what is
I'm-
it? Like those vanilla notes?
I get a little coconut, but that could be playing in with the maple and the coconut, making it like a barrel aged.
I go like maple, coffee, and then
Yeah.
so I drink coffee with coconut oil in it.
Okay.
And so I get like on the back end, I get all that coffee with
I get
coconut
coffee
oil.
on the front and coconut on the front, and I get the maple on the back.
So I get it, yeah.
My taste buds are reversed.
But it might
See,
just
and
be.
that's what's a cool thing that people I don't think people really pay attention to is
Perception.
Perception, and your palates are so different than what somebody else is. Some IPAs I just can't drink because of the bitterness, the harshness on my tongue. I perceive it differently.
How
than
relevant
somebody
is the smell though? How relevant is the smell for you? Because the first thing I do when I
smell?
get a beer is
I
Smell.
I just want to know what it
goes-
smells
I
like.
think it goes hand in hand because here's the thing. I used to make fun of people who smelled beer. Again, I'm not a beer guy. I got into the beer world because of the podcast. But the first thing people always tell me, smell the beer. Enjoy the smell of it.
But you know, even putting your hand on it, and let it sit, and doing stuff like that.
You get
But
the smell. It's different profiles.
no, it is. But
It's
it
only part.
is totally perception of what you perceive, what your mouth, what you feel.
That's why I always try to tell people when they try beer. Like when I talk about Brutal, I was like, if I get a chance to drink your beers, I always say, this is a great sour, or if I enjoy it, like, this is why I enjoy it. It's for me, and this is why I enjoy it. But it may not be the same profile for you when you drink it.
I've had
Yeah,
beers
it's not.
that were pleasing on the palate, but like again, I pour them, I go to smell them, and it's like I've had like sour IPAs that were just rancid,
Perfect
and the
example.
smell is just like such a turnoff. But
then when you
Sucker
drink
Punch.
it,
Sucker
the
Punch
flavor
you
could
guys
be
make
good,
here.
but the smell is just I
I was gonna say perfect example for me and my friends. Sucker Punch for me is a delicious beer. I love Sucker Punch you guys make here.
Right.
But my friends, it was just too overpowering for them.
Right.
But it's not because it's a bad beer. It's just because their taste
Right.
palates is different,
Right, absolutely.
and they're very sensitive to sours.
Right. See, and that's the thing, man. People have different. The coolest thing is if you've never been to one of these or been able to do one, is for someone to spike your beers. Get a Kolsch, get this, and let someone spike your beers with actual.
With DMT. Is that what you're talking about with DMT?
Yeah, exactly.
I would say with some Molly. You do DMT, Molly.
Yeah. Tamales, right? This is
Whatever you
exactly-
want to put in it. But I'm serious.
Like, give me a
Some people will
pork
taste,
tamale.
Oh, this tastes like
Have you seen
corn.
the pork
This one
tamale
tastes
with, like, a
this.
hot dog in the
And
middle?
someone won't taste it because
There's a
palates are
meme
so different.
where it's like
No, it is
it's
different.
literally a hot dog in the middle,
wait, can I get
but it's
you
a
to chug a
tamale.
beer?
And
Can
he's
we
like,
chug
the
this
last time
together?
I ordered, this is the last time I ordered
Man,
pork
I ain't
tamales from
chugging
a
no
white
beer.
person.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, you know what? I
Just
can see
really
that.
good.
I can see my grandma doing.
No, we got let's chug
Hey,
this
we're
beer.
chugging this beer. Are
Salud,
y'all chugging
skull,
this? I
anal.
know you guys are in.
Look,
So
Look at that.
thick and
Just
viscous,
coats the
unlike my
glass.
penis.
Your wife would disagree with that.
He doesn't have a wife yet.
can I get a
It's
copy
your
of this?
wife. It's your
I'm just
wife.
saying, look at that.
Burns your throat a little bit.
Brad's wife would say something different too.
I don't have a wife.
Yeah, you do.
His
I'll let your wife.
Wi-Fi. Who? You have Wi-Fi?
I don't have a wife.
Yeah, ours
I
is
have
drink more
Wi-Fi.
beer.
I got a
More beer.
girlfriend.
Yeah, that's your wife, bro.
I was like, what are you doing? She was like, nothing, thinking about you. I'm like, girl, you better quit.
So I was just texting my girl right now too. She's like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "I'm just about to wrap up this podcast." She's like, "You coming home?" I'm like, "Yeah."
You damn right. You damn right.
I'm coming home.
Girl. You damn right, I am, girl. You better get on out. She was cool, though. Same one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool, man.
She texted me the other day. She has a little girl.
She's quiet, though. I mean, like, Kate's pretty quiet, though. Like, in
Well,
person,
she's
too.
quiet to when she meets new people. So I've known her for years. I've known her off and on for years. I used to work with her mom back in the days. I've met Kate only like a handful of times, and she's the fucking greatest.
So I'm locked down on, like, remembering stuff, but she's like, she said, "When's your birthday?" I'm like, a couple months ago? And I was like, yeah, you were there. And she was like, and I was like, when was my birthday? And she was like, whatever, when was my birthday? And I go, April 24th. And she said, how'd you remember that? And I was like, no, I don't play that game with me. I was married before. She goes, Kate was like, I bet you don't remember the first time we met. And I was like, yeah, it was at Turning Point. She goes, it was? She was like, I was thinking another time. And I was like, no, it's Turning Point. Like, I remember when she goes, no, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I remember what you were wearing. And she was like, no, you don't. And I told her, I was like, you were wearing these blue yoga pants, and you had like a white, kind of cream colored, like oversized sweater on with these like black running shoes. And she was like, I didn't remember that. And I was like, because the minute I met you, like I remember you walked in and I followed you to the register and you got a beer, but she knew Stewart because she's an OG from Dallas Beer Quality. And she came and sat down with Stewart. And I was just like, but she sat across from me, so I was, talking to Sydney and with our group or whatever, but she was kind of over here. And as the night kind of went on, I was like, so what's up? I was like, she got up to go get a beer, and I was like, Sydney, what's up? What's her name? And she was like, her name's Kate. And I was like, what's her story? Sydney was like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. And I was like, no, I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to find out like who she is. Like,
Why is she trying to shut it down?
and Sydney's like, nah, trust me, man, it's not gonna happen. And so I got up and I went and stood up like kind of near the front, like near where the bar was. And she came out of the bathroom, she was like, I think we get another beer. And I was like, what about your beer? Like, what do you want? And she was like, well, I'm not really sure. What are you gonna get? And I was like, well, girl, let me tell you, And I was just like, I was just bullshitting, being funny, just like,
No, of course, that's awesome.
One of these, just do whatever. She was like, I'll just take whatever you get. Cool. We got a beer, we walked back, sat down, and just started jamming, started talking. And this is like, December. And so like, I didn't really talk to her again until I saw her at the Four Corners meet.
Nice.
And
But I remember we were at Cowtown, and you were like, so I don't think I'm gonna keep this part. But we were at Cowtown, and you're like, yo, I like this girl. I was like, yo, Kate's amazing. I like her. She's fucking phenomenal. I was like, go talk to her. Like, do it. Like, fucking do it now. Like, fuck out of here. Don't play no games.
What's funny is like we were at Four Corners and we were just hanging out, like I was hanging out with like Eric and Emily.
Yeah.
And I knew the Beer Zombie guys because they know some of the Las Vegas chapter of BB. And then so I went up and talked to them for a while, and I knew Dave Untrek.
Yes.
And so I knew Dave from hanging out. I hung out with him on
So
like
you
a
know
Black
everybody
Friday.
at the thing.
Well, so I knew Dave from we met at Cool Keg on Black Friday, and he,
whether you want to admit it, like Dave's a whale. Like he's got he brings out all kinds of bottles and cans stuff. So I was at Cool Keg on Black Friday just to see what they had, and he popped a bottle and it was like a 2014 BCBS, and I was like, damn, like, do you mind if I look at the bottle? And he was like, oh, you know what that is? And I was like, yeah, like I'm not trying to drink it, just can I look at it? I was like, that's awesome, that's really cool. And he was like, oh, well, I got some other stuff. And see, he was pulling out like Black Tuesday, and we were drinking like older BCBS, and we were drinking Triple J, Julius, and stuff like that. And he was just like sharing, you know. And again, great experience, you know, dealing with somebody who's like
It's a beer.
had no gain to share with me, but was just sharing for the sake of sharing. You know what I mean?
Because it's phenomenal to share.
And then that's when I met, you know, Ian. And Ian and I kind of connect a little bit better because we're both like super social people. Dave's a little bit more kind of withdrawn. But both of them, talking to both of them, you know, like I love hanging out with both of them, talking to them about beer and hanging out or whatever. Dave and I tend to be a little bit more open and you know, kind of like charismatic, you know, about like what we're into and what's good and what's not, and you know what we're into. And so I talk to Dave quite a bit now, like either on Instagram or we'll hang out, you know, we'll see each other around and go catch up with each other in person. But I mean, it was just like a really great experience. And then like towards the end of that share, I saw Kate and I tapped her on the shoulder and I was like, it's good to see you again. And she was like, yeah. And just on a whim, I was like, hey, we're gonna go over to Craft and Growler, you know, they're gonna have after party, we're gonna play some more games and drink some beer. And she was like, okay.
Yeah, that's right. You were at Craft and Grounds because I was shit-faced.
And so I went to Craft. No, you know, and I didn't have a bunch of time because my kids were at home. I went to Craft and Growler, and I was like, I'm not gonna drink. And she showed up, and she just sat next to me and was like, what are y'all doing? And I was like, what's up? And we played games and we talked a little bit, and then I left, but like we didn't follow each other on social media, and like we just kind of left it at that. And then somewhere along the line, we started following each other. And we were like, you know, like hitting each other back and forth, or just like, you know, dropping smiley faces on our story, hard eyes on this or whatever, you know. And it was finally like I kind of got to a point where I was like, hey, I'm just gonna break that ice and just be like, do you want to go on a date with me? And she was like, yeah, for sure. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, how's Monday? And she was like, it's perfect. And I was like, okay, awesome. I didn't even know what to say, you know, like, I'm not really like, you know, I'm not like, I'm cool with social awkwardness, you know, like, whatever, like, I like breaking the ice and meeting new people, whatever. And she was like, well, do you want to, like, hang out and, like, have a beer tonight? And I was like, yeah, I'm down, like, I don't have my kids, sure. And literally, like, I went over and we cracked a couple beers open, watched some TV, and just like talked all night about beer and social groups and what likes and dislikes, and just like kind of just open up and have these like really great conversations.
Real personal conversation, yeah.
And then like I left that night and I was like, done. Like, this is the girl that I want to, like, I can't wait for Monday, I can't wait for the day. And the next day was Luckapalooza.
Oh.
And so, you know, like,
You guys met up with that
I was at Luckapalooza. She was at home. She had her girls. And I remember I talked to Sydney, and I was like, dude, like, Kate is something else. And, you know,
Maybe we
Sydney's-
talked about it because I felt like we talked about Luckapalooza with you and Kate, and I felt like
But that was literally like the next day after, like, the first time we really hung out, just me and her. Because, like, you know, there was like the Share It Babes.
yeah.
We had talked a little bit on, hey, you going to Share It Babes?
And then the following
Sure,
share
you know,
at Cowtown. That's what I was mentioning earlier. That I was like, fucking do it, talk to her, yeah. Because Kate's awesome. I love Kate.
And then what's funny was, like, after that first night of like really hanging out, like getting to know her like more on a personal level, I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't need to look. I don't need nothing. And ever since then, it's just been like straight up like. I mean, I've been dating her since April, like beginning of April.
Nice.
And I'm like, I tell her all the time. My personality is always the grass is greener. I'm always looking for something more fun, something to do. Get away from the normal mundane things and get to do more fun stuff, things I've never experienced, new experiences, new fun. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, grass is greener. Like I'm down. I know where I'm supposed to be. Like,
I feel you.
I'm down.
Because so I spent most of my 20s traveling the world. So I moved to Texas when I was 19 years old, and I was like, fuck it. I don't like Texas, but I'm gonna live here, and I'm gonna travel the world. And that's how I've been most of my 20s. That's how Flower knows me. Like I've traveled most of my 20s. Traveled to Europe, Canada, Mexico, South America, Caribbean, everywhere. And I love traveling. I always like looking for the same thing, looking for new experiences. Let's fucking do it. But this last few months with hanging out with her, it's like I'm perfectly fine just coming home, hanging out, grabbing a beer, grabbing a wine, hanging out, talking shit the rest of the night, you know? Yep. And she's probably the first girl that I felt comfortable with doing that. Because I've never been like that. I've never been, most of my life, I've never been like comfortable just shooting shit. We go out and drink, we have fun. She does her thing because she smokes. I don't smoke, you know? So she does her thing, I don't knock it, but most of the time 90% of the time we're at the house, I'll cook dinner and she sits right across because I have a bar stool right by dinner, right with the kitchen. Yeah. And we just talk shit the whole night.
Well, it's funny because like Kate is like a little more measured, you know, like her drinking is always more controlled. You know, she's always, you know, what's going on. Oh, if I drink one, or if we open a can, I know I'm just gonna have like a little bit because I'm trying to taste it. I need this. Me, I'm like the opposite. I'm like, let's chug beers. Yeah, all right. You chugged a beer, let's chug a beer.
You want to think about it at home? Me and Flower's the opposite. So at the house, she's sloshed. So I open a bottle of beer or wine, 90% of it is hers. Because I'm cooking. I'm like cooking. I'm taking care of the dogs. If her daughter's there, we're hanging out, talking. But she's down like she wants to chug beer, take shots, and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, I'll be responsible. And I don't like drinking that much at the house. But
Kate's like that everywhere. She's very measured, you know, calculated. You know.
I do it mostly for like.
I respect that about her. Because it's like a lot about her personality. Me again, it's, you know, like I want to have fun. Like I just want to like let loose. I spend so much time like being put in a box, whether it's work or, you know, with my boys or whatever. And so like I want to break out. And, but you know, on the opposite side of that is like if she's at home and I don't have my kids, I don't ever want to like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my buddies and then maybe I'll see you later. No, I'm like, you know, I'm like, I want to see you. Like, I'm not worried about other shit. Like, I'll see my buddies enough. Like, I want to catch up with you.
Same thing. Like, so me and Flower, we don't live together, but we hang out as much as possible. So when she's at home with her daughter, I think we communicate a lot because she doesn't go out with her friends too. I'm like, she texts me, like right now I was doing a podcast, I just text like, hey, I'm still on the podcast, because she's at my place with my dogs. So I'm like, all right, I'll leave here in about like another hour or so. But we communicate that way as much as possible. But I don't know. I think it's beautiful that you guys have a balance like that because I think me and Flower balance each other on the aspect that she doesn't get drunk as shit at home, but she doesn't like drinking outside. Yeah. She doesn't like drinking out in the street. So, but I don't like drinking at home. I drink with her, but I drink more outside. Like with you guys or anybody, I'm like chug, I'm down. Let's do it.
I'm always like, the worst thing that anybody can do is be like, hey, you want to chug a beer? Because I could be like, oh, I gotta go home. You want to chug a beer? All right, we'll chug a beer. I'm like, I gotta
go. I'm the same way. I'm not the worst in public. But it was good that she doesn't drink in public. Like that. I drank her beer that night. She sat today. She's like, I like it.
Yeah.
So, interesting, man.
It's been cool to see all the differences, you know, because like she wasn't really like into craft before, she started hanging out with the Brew School or with Dallas Brew School. You know, and like guys like
Sean,
XL. Guys like XL and Sean, like they're, you know, very much like big brothers to her, you know, and she looks up to them, not just from a beer perspective, but also, you know, like just like socially and stuff. And, you know, she's got a great relationship with Stuart and, you know, some of the other guys, and, you know, I kind of feel like I was at a bit of a disadvantage, like not knowing that in the beginning, because I kind of felt like, in retrospect, some people really thought that I was like who's this guy? He's gonna come in and date Kate, you know? I mean, like,
I didn't feel like that in the community. I didn't see that. That's what you thought.
But what's funny is like, at the beginning, I was like trying to be respectful, you know, like, hey, let's be friends. And she's the one that was kind of like, hey, let's hang out or whatever. And she kind of pursued me a little bit.
Okay.
And as soon as I felt that, I was like, I'm down. Like, I think you're cool. But I was like, but I want to be respectful because I like you are, friends with a lot of people that I know and a lot of people that I'm friends with. So I want to do this the right way. Like, I don't want to.
You're just a nice guy.
I'm not gonna be like just like let's go out and drop. Like, I want to be like, let's go on a date. If it doesn't work,
It'd be cool if it doesn't work, but
because it's been interesting because like it really took what I feel like it took some local some local guys. In my opinion, it took some warming up to be cool with me.
You think so?
Yeah, strictly because it was like, and it may not have been because of her. It may not have been because of. Just because of like me, because I was a bit of an outsider, which is cool, and like I get that, that's one thing I like about the beer, like the brew squad, the ducks. The brew squad is a little bit more like, hey, if you're in a craft, like come and find out where it all. The duck group is they're like more close knit. They keep it a little smaller. They're super loyal to each other. They have strict rules about like not sharing outside of chat. Don't screenshot and take it out of here because it's like what stays in here. What happens in here stays in here. But then on the other side of that, it's like the Dallas Beer Squad was the first group that came up. People say, oh, the Duck Group is DFW. The Duck Group's not DFW. The Acro Group is not DFW. It's the Dallas Beer Squad is what craft beer started.
I feel that way.
And people who are in this area know that there was a beer group, a share group, a trade group that originated out of Dallas that had nothing to do with the rest of it. They were a small group of people that were super loyal to each other, and they were loyal to the brewery, and they went out and did their own thing. But they also maintained like that loyalty to each other, and they still maintain it. You know what I mean? And that's Sean and Dom and Doug and Stuart. And Excel and Kate and there's like a definite there's like a definite group of those people, and they have some connections that are from other groups that came in when they were like that OG status.
I did a podcast with Sean. Sean's like, hey, let's do a podcast with the original members of Dallas Beer Squad, and it was Kate. That was Kate part of it. That's how I first met her. She made the cookies for the event. Oh yeah, fucking great baker, by the way, amazing. She makes a lot of fun. She makes a lot of cookies, like a lot of cookies. So I didn't get it out the way. You can just put it on the time side, just get it out the way. Gotta get Prince back up, But no, it's so that's how I met her. So I know she's part of the original crew, and they have a lot of respect for her. And one of the few pictures I have up from the Dallas Beer Squad is the cookies with Kate and hanging out with Kate. That's why I said she was phenomenal. That's why I was super excited that you were interested in her. And then I was like, fucking do it, bro. She's amazing.
What's funny too is like we're complete opposites personality-wise. She's a little antisocial, but not in a bad way. It's just like she's more reserved and kind of closed off. She doesn't really let people in. She doesn't really like to be in super social situations.
Pay attention. She likes to pay attention.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the opposite. I'm like, you throw me in a room full of people. The joke is, if we were to get to be on the same flight together and we get separated on the same row, she's on one side in the middle seat, and it's just like horrified the whole time. And has a terrible flight. And as soon as we land, she's up out of her seat and wants to get off the plane. Me, I'm in the middle seat, and I get up and I'm like shaking hands and hugging with the people that I'm sitting next to. And I'm going to be in a wedding next Tuesday. And maybe you could be my date, because I'm going to the wedding. And that's kind of like the running joke between us. And she always says, I'll go anywhere with you. You just wherever you want to go, I'll go anywhere with you. And that's sort of a bit of a challenge between us, because I tend to be super social, and when she's had a day that is just like too much social stimulation, she tends to be a little more closed off, and I have to be kind of aware of that, so that as
a partner,
I try to be her, a good partner, and just be like, hey, I understand, like this is what's going on, and so we have some like kind of rules that we set for our relationship so that we stay connected and do whatever,
But I can tell you, like I've never been in a relationship with anybody that I connected so deeply on, on so many levels. But beer is definitely like a good common denominator that we always like meet at, and that's why I always say like beer should never be thought, in my opinion, should never be anything else. It's the common denominator between people. You meet somebody who's different race, different religion, different culture, different social background, different whatever. If you two like the same beer, I guarantee you that you'd be like, oh, this dude likes the same beer that I like? And then you immediately start talking about the beer. And then you realize, hey, man, maybe he's not what I thought, like his background is.
Facts.
And then you then you develop that relationship. Before you know, you're friends. And then on Thanksgiving, you guys are hanging out watching football. I mean, like,
Facts.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yo, that's how I feel the same way about the beer community. Like, I don't like the whole infighting even with brewers, because there's some brewers who don't like each other. I don't like it because beer is so great that it brings all of us together all the time.
I mean, let's be honest. Even if you don't feel like it, we're all assholes on some level.
A level, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't realize it, like something that you do, somebody else the wrong way or whatever. I mean, like, it's impossible to think that with as many people that live in this world that you're going to get along with everybody. It's just not. If you're being true to yourself, you're being true to everyone else, there's no way it's going to happen.
People hate you, and it's not hate you, but people don't like things you do, and that's okay. But you gotta understand, not everybody's gonna like you, and I know that. But what I like for the most part in the beer community is respect, and that really bothers me when people don't show respect.
Yeah.
But regardless of the small negatives I have about the beer community is amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
It brings people like you and Kate together, which I fucking love. Like, that's why I call her your wife. Like, if you guys don't get married, I seriously would cry.
I told her earlier. She was like, "He's so sweet."
Like, I swear to God, if you guys don't end up together, like, there's no reason for me to date anybody.
Well, you know what's funny is like we talked a little bit, and like I think from both of us coming from the perspective that we've been married and have kids, been married before, divorced, have kids. Like, I told her like my loyalty is to her, that being married don't dictate that at all. And she's like, I feel the same way. So I mean, like, I'm pretty sure she's ruined me on other girls. I mean, like, I won't. If something ever happens, I'm never gonna look at another girl the same way.
I don't know. I mean, me and being Flowers' relationship is still new, but I feel a little bit the same way. I don't know. I've never. So Flowers the first woman that I had in my life that met my parents. Like, randomly, we just met my parents one night because we were hanging out. My mom asked me to have dinner with me. I'm like, yeah, let's go do it. Like, I hang out with her every day. I talk to her every day. It's the first relationship I had that she doesn't like beer, and I know that, but she'll drink it with me. She'll come hang out. She wants to be with me, and we feel the opposites in our gaps about personality. I'm very straightforward.
So I think that's like a really good point. It's like Kate and I feel the opposites in our gaps emotionally. I'm super straightforward. I'm very social. But she balances me with, she has had too much social interaction, and she's like, can we just like have a night in? And I'm like, cool, because like sometimes I could use that. Like, I get burnt out, running it too much, trying to be like that. And I feel like we balance each other out like really well. And it's not like I don't really have to think in the sense of like, well, what do I need to do to be the right kind of boyfriend or man or whatever for Kate? I think like I love this girl. If I feel the way I truly feel, then I don't need to think about what the right decision is. I already know what the right decision is. You don't think about what the right decision is. You just do it. You know what I mean? And so, in that regard, it's a little different. It's a little bit of uncharted territory for me, but
that's awesome. I love it. Well, I feel you before Flower, and I feel you now. The aspect of this is, it's all work. Like, the reason why I'm not going to Soulfire, oh shit, you chugging, hold on.
Ugh.
That hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt a little bit, guys.
But you know what? I feel like I taste more pineapple on the end of it.
When you chug like that? Yeah, same here.
I feel like it's pineapple juice.
Wow. I don't even know what I'm saying now. That shit hurt. The fuck was I talking about? Oh, like so far, like I'm going to Three Nations tomorrow, but Flower works until 3 o'clock. So the reason why I'm saying I'm leaving Three Nations at 3 is because I'm gonna pick up her. We're gonna go clothes shopping for outfit for her daughter for Halloween, and then after that we're gonna go to an adult Halloween party and we're just gonna hang out. You know, so that's my Saturday. But I feel like for the longest time, I felt like people always try to control me. She doesn't try to control me. She just, we talk. But then number one rule she has, and I agree with her. We communicate. Like, this is what I'm thinking. This is how I'm feeling. Because she's going through a divorce right now. She has a kid, and it hasn't worked out. But she's like very like, I just know how I feel. How do you feel about it? And we talk about it. And I'm not big on talking and things, and that's why a lot of relationships in the past has failed. But I'm willing to talk with her. As Eric is yelling at kids. I love brutal.
It's funny you say that because like I'm a feel-good guy. I like to deal with all the feel-good stuff. I want to have fun. Everything needs to be fun, feel good. So I don't like dealing with negative relationship stuff.
Same thing, but it's negative things in life. Like fuck it, that's that. Move on.
Or even the things that like I don't like. You know, I mean, I just want to like shrug it off and just be like, everything's gonna be fine. Well, that's been something like anytime I've ever been like, hey, I feel like this is something that's bothering me, and I'm just gonna let you know how I feel, and you don't have to respond to me, but I'm just gonna let you know. I feel like there's always been a very, constructive response about like, thank you for letting me know. I don't always realize that I do that, and like she kind of approaches things from the same way that I do, and it's been, it's been cool.
I'm trying to. And I think you and Kate inspired me to be more open. That shit was, again, if you guys don't get married, you don't have to get married. If you guys don't end up together for the rest of your lives, that shit bothers me. Because if you guys don't end up together for the rest of your lives, what the fuck am I in a relationship for? Like, fuck it.
I'm telling you right now, I'm down for her from now until forever. She knows it, I know it. That won't change. So
that's fucking beautiful. Bro.
It's interesting for me to be in a spot where the relationship continues to grow and grow and grow, and we strengthen, and we go through things together that are not ideal, but we continue to grow together, and we strengthen our relationship, and we grow in mutual understanding. And it's hard. It's real hard, especially for me, because I'm the more emotional of the bunch. I won't even lie. She tends to be a little bit more emotionally reserved, but that doesn't mean she doesn't feel it. I tend to be a little bit more, forward on my emotions, and which can result in me being hot-tempered, which can result in me being, I can, spout off of the mouth about, what I'm feeling, but she's very understanding of my approach to things, and it ends up working out really, really.
I feel you.
In case y'all don't know, this place is family friendly.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
One of the brewers is chasing kids around, about to drop people's elbow.
Yeah. Then you can hear him in the background. No, I don't know. My relationship with Flower is still new and fresh, so we'll figure it out. Like I said, we've both been through a lot. Mostly her, so the difference is so I don't know, I'm more reserved. The funny thing about, like you said, they fill each other's spots. We're reserved and different in different spots. Like, I'm outgoing in public where she's reserved. She's very open and drinking and having fun at the house, where I for some reason become more reserved. Emotionally, I shut down. Everything emotionally. Anger, sadness. Like, I try to do my best in life. I try to shut that down. Like, fuck it. I have no feelings. Hey.
I'm a nerve when it comes to emotions.
Yeah.
Anger, sadness, whatever. Like I'm raw. That's why I like, talking with my sister. Like I'll talk about it for a limited amount of time. I don't like getting into it.
Well, I feel that. I respect that because I'm the same way. Like I haven't suffered loss. This is why, for my life, I don't ever ask people about their problems in their past, because I don't want people to ask me about my problems in my past, nor do I want to ask like what's wrong. Like, say you come into the day and you're like, I'm having a shitty day. I'm not gonna ask you why you having a shitty day. It's like, you want a beer? You're like, fuck yeah, let's drink a fucking beer. That's how I am.
How much time you got?
Yeah.
Let's drink a beer. Let's have it.
Let's fucking drink. Let's fucking forget about it. We're in the moment, and that's how I live. But I'm
Maybe that's just like a little cultural, thing too, because like, coming from, like, my mom's side of the family is more traditional Hispanic culture, and so it's like
definitely.
it's
Hey,
not
what's the
sharing.
podcast you got to do?
Oh, Dallas Beer Talk.
Dallas Beer Talk?
Yeah.
Where can I find it? Just
Anywhere on social media, anywhere on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play.
okay. We want to check it out.
I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Victor.
Ryan.
Nice
Nice
to
to
meet
meet
you,
you.
Brad,
Nice to meet you.
good to meet you, man.
I'm come here about twice a week, so I just wanted to check it out and see what
Yeah.
y'all are doing.
Yeah,
Right on,
so
man.
this podcast with Eric and Jason will be out in 2 weeks.
Excellent. But I want to see what all things y'all do. So.
No, I appreciate it. Thank
So-
you so much.
Dallas Beer Talk.
So we're a part of like a few beer groups locally, and Victor does. He meets with all kinds of like.
I cover more beer events, so if you go follow our Instagram, you see a lot more beer events covered. So podcast is like third thing on my list that I do, but I cover like beer events, so you can follow us on Facebook, social media.
Facebook and Instagram. It's just Dallas Beer Talk.
Yeah.
And so have you like False Idol's opening up the road in
Yeah.
a few months, so
Yeah.
Hang out and have a beer with us.
they're also they're in our beer groups, and then like the Dallas Beer Squad, which is another craft beer group that's based out of Dallas. Victor knows all those guys. And
Cool. I want to check it out. So
No,
I'll just
yeah.
Make sure.
I would love to hang out with you too.
Yeah. Take care, y'all.
cheers, man.
Thank you, sir.
Good to meet you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Those are my shoes, dude.
So it's a good.
Yeah.
So I roll.
That is why I like doing like the stuff in public. But I think the answer, like what you said at the end, like stuck in my head, and I kept thinking about it. I think it's right. Maybe it's a Latin culture. I grew up with a bunch of guys. Definitely a male culture of like not speaking much of feelings. But when I talked to my mom,
My grandfather was 4th of July in Chicago. It's hot as fuck. They got police barricades in the street, so we got the street blocked off. We're lighting fireworks in the street in Chicago, right? Which should be illegal because we went to Indiana and picked up fireworks, came back.
Nice.
And he's wearing slacks and dress shoes with a wife beater, smoking a cigarette, and that's his way of like relaxing. And the reason he's smoking a cigarette is because he don't want to light a punk. And so the whole time he's got a cigarette in his hand and he's lighting fireworks off. We're putting fireworks in his bottle and in the bottles, and he's walking up lighting them with a cigarette.
Yeah.
And he's so again, his way of being relaxed is he's wearing a wife beater with his slacks because he don't wear anything else.
Yeah.
And his dress shoes, and like that's just his way of being chill.
that was my grandfather and my grandmother. Like everybody's generation different, but I think it's a lot of it is not speaking. Like my grandfather never talked about how he felt. I've known until my grandfather passed away a couple of years ago. I've known him my entire life. Well, I've lived with him on his farm in South Carolina for a couple of years. Like I've known him my entire life, and not once he ever asked me how you feeling.
Yeah.
And not once that he ever wanted me to ask him how he's feeling.
It was like a cultural thing. It was
Yeah,
like-
but that's what I'm saying. I agree with
something-
you. I kind of agree with you on that part. It's like, fuck your feelings. What are you doing today? What are you getting done today? And if I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna drink my beer, smoke my cigarette, watch the kids play, maybe cook something on the grill.
I'll deal with whatever bad to happen by starting the grill, smoking my cigarette, hanging on the garage, doing whatever.
Yeah.
Chill out, like that's how I just deal with it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't. See you later, brother. I got that on camera.
Audio file.
So let's, on this note, Brad, first of all, let's wrap this up so we can hang out.
Cheers,
Thank
man.
you so much for hanging
for
out with me. Like I said, follow Kate, his wife, on Instagram right here in front of us. Follow him on Instagram right here in front of us as well. Come to Brutal phenomenal beers. They're doing a charity October 19th. Unfortunately, this podcast drops after that, but they drop a new beer every week. Follow them on social media for any other charity events. I know they do giveaways too, because for the holidays they do help out a lot, so follow them. Phenomenal. This has been great. Peace.